Inside the monastery of San Giovanni Rotondo, in Padre Pio's cell, a strange scene was unfolding. The saint sat on the edge of his bed. The wounds on his hands were bandaged, as always. But his face was something else entirely. His eyes were closed, his lips moving slightly. The rosary beads turned in his hands. And in that room, there were other entities, invisible to everyone else, yet clearly visible to Padre Pio. One of his fellow priests peeked through the door. Seeing Padre Pio in this state, he was stunned. It was as if an invisible war was raging around the saint. Padre Pio's face grew tense, then softened. The rosary beads moved faster. And then he took a deep breath. The battle was over. When his fellow priest stepped inside, he asked, "Padre, what is happening? I saw you." Padre Pio smiled. It was a weary smile, yet full of victory. "The devil came again," he said. "But the Virgin Mary drove him away. A single Hail Mary was enough." This was not just a fleeting moment. This was a reality Padre Pio lived through time and time again. For Padre Pio had come face to face with both the terrors of hell and the power of heaven. And he knew with absolute certainty, invoking the name of the Virgin Mary was enough to make the devil flee. Padre Pio's life was filled with spiritual warfare. In the darkness of the night, the devil would physically attack him. Sometimes he appeared as a hideous cat, sometimes as a grotesque creature, and sometimes he appeared as naked young women performing provocative dances. The intention was clear: to terrify Padre Pio, to drag him into sin, to steal his soul. Once, when his fellow priests entered his cell in the morning, they found him on the floor. His face was bruised and purple, his body battered. "What happened, Padre?" they asked. Breathing with difficulty, Padre Pio replied, "The devil came tonight. He beat me. But I did not give up. I held on to my rosary, and I called out to the Virgin Mary. When she arrived, the devil fled." Witnesses recount that noises, screams, and the sounds of objects overturning would sometimes come from Padre Pio's room. When they entered in the morning, everything would be in disarray. Furniture knocked over, items broken, but in Padre Pio's hand there was always the rosary, and on his lips always the same prayer: "Hail Mary, full of grace." But for Padre Pio, the rosary was not merely a defensive tool. He called the rosary the weapon. The rosary, he would say, is the weapon against the devil. It is the weapon against the evils of today's world. And in his final days, on his deathbed, he told his fellow priests, "Bring me my weapon." The priests looked around, but they saw no weapon. "Padre, which weapon?" Padre Pio replied, "My rosary. The rosary is my weapon." So, how did Padre Pio see the power of the Hail Mary? Did he know it only from his own experiences, or did he witness other things as well? One day, a desperate mother came to San Giovanni Rotondo. Her son lay gravely ill. The doctors had done everything they could. There was no hope left. The mother fell to her knees before Padre Pio. "Padre, my son is dying. Please, Show us a miracle." Padre Pio looked at the woman. It was a deep, penetrating gaze. "Do you pray?" he asked. The woman nodded. "Yes, Padre. I pray constantly." Padre Pio asked, "And do you pray the Rosary?" The woman hesitated. "Sometimes. But it feels so long. I've never actually finished one." Padre Pio spoke in a soft but firm voice. "Pray the Rosary for your son. Every day, a full Rosary. If you cannot do that, pray at least 1 decade. If you cannot even do that, say a single Hail Mary, but say it with sincerity. The Virgin Mary listens. She never leaves any mother alone." The woman returned home, and she immediately began the Rosary. Every day, she sat by her son's bedside. She prayed the Rosary. Sometimes she would fall asleep from exhaustion while praying, but every day she said Hail Mary at least once. And a few weeks later, the miracle happened. Her son began to recover. The doctors were astonished. "This is impossible. But he is getting better. How can this be?" In tears, the mother went back to Padre Pio. "Thank you, Padre," she said. Padre Pio smiled. "Do not thank me. Thank the Virgin Mary. She heard. She answered." Another story concerned a soul from Purgatory. Padre Pio was praying in his cell one night. Suddenly he felt someone beside him. He turned and looked. Standing there was a pale, sorrowful man. Padre Pio was not surprised, for he often saw souls from Purgatory. "Who are you?" he asked. The man replied, "I am Pietro. I died here, in this building, years ago. I am still in Purgatory. I am suffering. Please pray for me." Padre Pio asked, "How long have you been there?" "I have been here for decades," the man said. Padre Pio's face was shadowed with grief. "Why for so long?" Pietro replied, "Because no one prays for me. My family has forgotten me. My friends have died. I have been left all alone." Padre Pio immediately asked, "Did you pray to the Virgin Mary when you were alive?" Pietro nodded. "Yes, but very rarely. I didn't like praying the Rosary. It felt too long. Sometimes I couldn't even manage a single Hail Mary." Padre Pio said softly, "That is why. Because you forgot the Virgin Mary in your life. You now need her intercession even more. But do not worry. I will pray for you. Tomorrow, I will offer a Mass for you." The next day, Padre Pio offered a special prayer for Pietro during Mass. And that night, Pietro appeared again. But this time, it was different. His face was glowing. He was smiling. "Thank you, Padre. I am free now. Thanks to you, I am going to heaven. But I have a message. Tell people not to forget the Virgin Mary. Let them say at least one Hail Mary every day, because she prays for the dead too." and her prayers help us get out of purgatory. After this experience, Padre Pio began to pray the Rosary even more than one full rosary a day. And he constantly reminded people, pray the Rosary. Do not forget the Virgin Mary. She is the most powerful intercessor. Once, a man asked him, Padre, I am very busy. I don't have time to pray a full rosary. What should I do? Padre Pio replied, say a single Hail Mary, but say it sincerely. The Virgin Mary loves a prayer that comes from the heart more than 100 prayers that just come from the lips. Another day, a woman complained, Padre, I often lose focus while praying the Rosary. My mind wanders. Is this a valid prayer? Padre Pio smiled. The Virgin Mary knows what a mother is like. She sees your effort. Even if your attention wanders, keep trying. She sees your sincerity. Padre Pio saw the power of the Virgin Mary not only in spiritual battles, but also in physical healings. Once a man with cancer came to him. The doctors had given him 3 months to live. The man was hopeless. Padre Pio told him, pray the Rosary every day, and ask the Virgin Mary not for healing, but for the strength to submit to God's will. If God's will is healing, He will heal you. If it is something else, He will grant you the strength to endure it. The man went home that day and began praying the Rosary daily. And a strange thing happened. 3 months passed, but he didn't die. 6 months passed. He was still alive. A year later, when the doctors examined him again, they were amazed. The cancer had disappeared. This is a miracle, they said. The man turned to Padre Pio in tears. How did it happen? How did the cancer suddenly leave my body, Padre? Padre Pio answered, the Virgin Mary heard. She pleaded with her son. Jesus can never say no to his mother. A few days before Padre Pio's death, his fellow priests visited him. He was very weak. He could barely speak. But he never dropped the Rosary from his hand. His lips were constantly moving. Hail Mary, he would say. One day, one of the priests asked, Padre, don't you ever get tired? You have prayed the Rosary your entire life. Shouldn't you rest now? When Padre Pio heard this, he smiled. The Rosary is not for resting. The Rosary is for fighting. And I will continue to fight until I die. And when Padre Pio died on September 23, 1968, the Rosary was in his hand. His last words were, Mary, Mary. Today, years later, Padre Pio's message is still valid for all of us. The Rosary is the most powerful weapon. Even a single Hail Mary is enough to drive the devil away. A full Rosary can pave the way for a soul to leave purgatory. And praying the Rosary constantly means dedicating your life to God, showing that you have not forgotten Him. So, have you prayed the Rosary today, or were you too busy? Are you too tired? If so, remember Padre Pio's advice. Say at least one Hail Mary, because the Virgin Mary is listening. And she leaves none of her children alone. Let this video serve as a reminder for you. And if this story moved you, pray a Rosary today. or at least say a single Hail Mary in your heart, and watch how the Virgin Mary's power manifests in your life. Watch how she touches you. And if the wisdom of Padre Pio, the secrets of the saints, and the depths of a life of prayer intrigue you, subscribe to this channel. Because every week, we share stories that will strengthen your faith, nourish your soul, and perhaps change your life. Let us pray for one another. And let us not forget, invoking the name of the Virgin Mary is the most powerful prayer. Padre Pio saw this, and we can see it too.